All right, today we're diving into one of the most powerful and, let's be honest, challenging passages in all of Scripture, the Beatitudes, from the Sermon on the Mount. Let's really get to the heart of what these radical requirements mean for us.
First things first, we have to get rid of any idea that these are just nice, gentle suggestions. They're not. What Jesus was doing up on that mountainside was laying out the actual constitution for the kingdom of heaven. These are the core rules for a completely different way of life, a way that flips everything the world values completely upside down. So the first big requirement we're going to look at is built on what you could call a powerful law of spiritual physics. It's a law of reciprocity, and it all starts with mercy.
You know, the way this is phrased is just so simple, but wow, is it deep. It's a direct promise. The mercy you give is the mercy you get. It's like a divine echo. What you put out into the world comes right back to you, from God himself. So what does it really mean to be merciful? Well, it's not just a feeling. It's not about just feeling sorry for someone. It's an action. It means you are actively choosing to forgive, to show compassion, especially when somebody doesn't really deserve it. And when we do that, we're not just being nice, we're actually mirroring the character of God. This really shows us a fundamental truth of the kingdom. Our own experience of getting mercy is directly tied to how we give it to others. And, this wasn't some brand new idea that Jesus just dropped on them. This teaching is woven all through Jewish scripture. I mean, you see it back in the Psalms with King David. And the prophet Micah, he called it out as one of the core requirements from God. It's a timeless principle. To really hammer this home, Jesus told this incredible parable about a servant who was forgiven a debt so massive he could never, ever repay it. But then that same servant turns around and refuses to forgive a coworker for a tiny, insignificant amount. Well, the king's reaction was swift and it was harsh. He took back his mercy. The takeaway here is, well, it's pretty chilling. If we want God's mercy for our own huge spiritual debts, we absolutely must extend it to other people for their small ones against us. So you can see how this focus on action, on mercy, naturally leads us to the next point. We're moving from the outward expression to the inward state of our heart, the pursuit of inner holiness. Now this might be one of the most staggering promises in the entire Bible. Think about that. The reward for being pure on the inside isn't just, a clear conscience. The promise is that you will actually see God. Now, being pure in heart, that's so much deeper than just checking boxes and doing the right things. It's all about the why behind what you do. It's a heart that's free from mixed motives, a heart that isn't trying to serve God and itself at the same time. It's about having your deepest desires lined up with God's will. It's sincerity to the absolute core. And again, this whole idea of a clean heart has deep, deep roots. The Psalms say it's the main qualification for being able to stand in God's holy presence. And remember King David? After his huge sin, he didn't just ask for forgiveness. He begged God, "Create in me a clean heart." He knew that internal purity was the absolute foundation for ever seeing God. Okay, so this inner purity, this clean heart, it's not supposed to just stay locked up inside you. It's meant to flow outward into a new kind of action in the world. And that brings us right to the next beatitude, the active work of a peacemaker. And listen closely to the title they get here. This isn't just a nice little compliment. It's a statement about who they are. Peacemakers are recognized by a very specific family name, children of God.
Yeah, and this is a really important distinction. A peacemaker isn't just someone who keeps their mouth shut to avoid a fight. That's just being passive. A true peacemaker is an active agent of healing. They step into conflict, into brokenness, and they work to bring people together and restore harmony. So why are they called children of God? Well, it's because when they make peace, they are literally doing their Father's work. They're reflecting his divine character. It's like how a child might have their dad's eyes or their father's smile. Peacemakers have their Father's nature, a nature that creates peace out of chaos. All right, now we get to what is probably the most challenging, the most paradoxical part of this whole thing. We're talking about a reality where suffering isn't just something you endure, but it's presented as a genuine blessing. I mean, this just flips our normal way of thinking completely on its head, right? We see persecution as something to run away from at all costs. But here, Jesus directly links it with being blessed and says the entire kingdom of heaven belongs to those who suffer for doing the right thing.
So you have this massive clash of worldviews. The world says, hey, if people are attacking you, you must be doing something wrong. But the kingdom view says, nope. If you're being attacked for righteousness, it's a sign you're on the right track. It's a sign of faithfulness, not failure. And then Jesus just doubles down. He makes it super personal. He says when people insult you, lie about you, all because you're following him, your gut reaction shouldn't be to get down about it, but to actually be joyful. Rejoice, he says, because your reward is huge. And hey, you're in good company. It's exactly how they treated the prophets.
But why does this even happen? Well, think about it. Real righteousness, real truth, is a threat to the way things are. It exposes greed. It challenges people who are only after power and glory for themselves. It messes with the gravy train for people who are profiting from a broken system. And if everyone can be blessed, that threatens their special elite status. So they have to try and silence the source of that truth.
And that really leaves us with this huge, challenging question to chew on. These Beatitudes, they don't just ask us to be good people. They call us to completely redefine what's important. They ask us to find mercy and forgiving, to find vision and purity, to find our identity in making peace, and unbelievably, to find blessing in the last place we'd ever think to look, persecution. So the question for all of us is, in a world that sells comfort as the ultimate goal, how can we truly embrace this idea that suffering for what is right isn't a curse, but a gateway to joy and the ultimate sign of blessing?